Survivor Hackathon. We are taking a sidestep to do this hackathon because it's usually slow now, but it's awesome because we get to learn more about AI, and we have some fantastic sponsors, Zephyr Cloud, Get Kraken, as well as Front End Mentor. They have provided some gifts for us for the two teams. Winning team is going to receive 70% of the pot of $1,000 from Zephyr Cloud. Second place will get $300. First place also gets some swag from Get Kraken and Front End Mentor premium subscriptions. So it's nice because then you're both going to walk away with something. But I think the best part of this is you're going to walk away with a lot of learnings. We are deeping dive into AI. We're learning how MCPs work. We're learning how to work with agents. We're learning how to build features with AI. All the above. It's been awesome to see everybody kind of showcase what they're learning. So I'm excited to see these demos today. So first off, we have Paris, and then we'll go to Bradley. Hector is next, and then Monica, you are last. And then after that, if anybody wants to share anything as well, it's open forum. This is not locked in at all, but it's a way for you to be able to share what you've learned. So Paris, why don't you kick it off for us?
Hi. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can share my screen.
Yes, I want to see if this works for me. It never works.
Okay, I think it kind of. Can you see my screen?
Yes, but let me get you in a frame first. Okay. Give me a second. Oh, if I pin you, it works. Oh, look at that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm seeing Monica in the screen. Is this?
Let me check the LinkedIn stream real fast. Is everybody else seeing Monica, or are you seeing Paris?
Monica for me.
Paris for me.
Okay, cool.
I see friends.
Hold on. Let me double check this real fast because AI, I'm going to record this and then I'm going to send you guys some snippets. I know I haven't sent the previous ones, but I'm going to do my due diligence to send you guys a bunch of snippets from your demos. Just let me confirm real fast, Paris. Oh, it's Monica. Okay, let me hide everybody. Okay, I gotta hide everybody. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Let me hide everybody just in case.
I think it's working.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay, cool. So today I'm gonna demo some of the kind of like rough designs. They don't look rough, but that's mainly because we're using a design library, so it like looks nicer than like that it is. But yeah, so we have like a couple phases. I'm not gonna give too many details with our application, but one of the phases is where we're gonna have a building like itinerary builder, where you will be able to. You have a couple options, like you can manually delete certain like events or like activities throughout the day for like depending on what your travel is. You can click between days, or you could just like chat directly with the agent and just talk about like what you want to change. So yeah, that's kind of one thing I started playing around with. I definitely got a lot of inspiration from like Google Maps, obviously, like with this little pop-up here. I thought I was originally thinking about having kind of like a drop-down option where you could see more details of the activity, but I realized that I think this pop-up is actually just fine. Like I think it works better and doesn't mess with the view as much. And you can close it and still like look at the map that you're viewing. There's also we're playing around with like this idea of having an empty slot in the day that's obvious to the user, where they can talk to the agent and say, hey, this empty slot, like, is there some time to put like another activity there? Or if like a user deletes something before the AI can like add something, before the agent can add another event, this like kind of empty slot will show up. I was playing around with Figma MCP and Claude Code to kind of create a prototype of this. And it's definitely teaching me a lot about Figma MCP, because I would say that it's not as good at larger scale wireframes than maybe design tokens or like small components. But I still got it to work after a lot of iteration, somewhat.
That's awesome. Is it because when it's smaller, it has less artifacts to go through?
Yeah,
And then,
I mean,
right? And
I tried to organize these well. I mean, obviously they're probably not perfectly organized, but I like named everything and tried to like make it very clear. But even then, it still was like, this is a lot. I think partially,
that's awesome.
I think partially it's because it actually couldn't even like there with smaller components. It can like actually look at the component not as just a screenshot, but like with the spacing and with all that. But when it's a bigger screen like this, it actually like fails to even to do that at all. So what it does, it like takes a screenshot of it and then tries to build it from there.
Oh, interesting.
So with the screenshot, of course, there were like a lot of problems because it doesn't have as much of the like information. The first iteration was rough, but I like chatted with Claude Code for a while, managed to like duct tape together something. And also I wanted to like mention that I even like asked, the part of how I like made sure the functionality was working was just like, this model knows about like this project pretty well. So I got it to kind of like help me make a prompt. I got Claude to like help me make a prompt for Claude Code, which was really helpful. And then, okay, let me show you the actual prototype, which again is not perfect at all. Like a lot of this is not working.
That is pretty good though.
Yeah, it took
for
a while.
where you got it to get to this point.
It does add some random things though, like this best time and cost thing.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, this add activity, I still have to figure out what the functionality of this is going to be like, because it's kind of confusing. But yeah, you have the chat over here. Oops. You have the chat over here. You can look at the different days, and it also like changes the map. I asked it to like connect to a free map API to put that functionality in. And I also said, like, if you don't have anything, just put these like 2 slots per time of day, so that it like is represented a little bit. Yeah, at first it like merged these 2 panels and like didn't have the navigation on the top at all and didn't have navigation on the bottom. And yeah, so but now now it's like kind of working. But yeah, I just thought it was nice and pretty impressed with what it can do. But I definitely think that like in the long run, it's better at like starting with design systems and like having those components be read by Claude Code through the MCP, and then building stuff from there. I have to like play around with it more. But yeah, that's kind of what I got.
Interesting. All right, let me bring the team back. Keep this on. Let's see. Any questions, comments for Paris? I'll go first then. What was so you said the first iteration it kind of like messed up some parts of the implementation, right? So did you have to start from scratch, or did you have to reprompt it and then like start from scratch again, or did you iterate from the first one?
I iterated. I didn't have to start from scratch. It was basically it had built out, like, it was pretty fast to change these things, and it didn't just like mess everything up the way that I feel like vibe coding often does. Like, I guess this is kind of like a version of vibe coding, but it feels easier to mess around with.
Yeah. And which agent model did you use to build the first one in the iterations? Do you know?
I use Claude Code. Is there like a more specific way of saying that?
Yeah, so if you go to Claude Code, they'll have like different agents, and you might have it on auto, or the best one right now is Opus 4.5.
Oh, I have it on Opus 4.5.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
yeah,
I was like, why am I blanking out right now?
Opus does a great, because you're not a developer, and it's okay, but you'll start learning about all this stuff after this, right? Because if you test the different models, they will do it. They will implement things differently.
Yeah.
And some of them do a better job than others, right? And it depends what you ask it, how detailed you are, and all that stuff. So it's great to know that you are iterating and figuring out how this works, because I do believe that's the future for design. Is you already know that it's like, okay, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna do full-fledged site. I'm gonna do the header first, the footer next, the sidebar first, and then I'm gonna mesh it all together. And then as I create features, then I'm gonna tell it, hey, now go build the activities section, right? Opposed to like doing everything all at once. There's too much context. So it's really nifty that you have gotten it this far. And I believe you do a little coding, right? But not too much, correct?
Yeah, like I can, if I open up the code file for this, I could probably be able to tell how messed up it was, but I wouldn't know how to fix it.
Cool. So that's a great testament to like where it's at right now, because looking at your design file and where it's at, like obviously, yes, it's not perfect, but it's like 80% there, you know, and that's way better than saying, hey, Hector, here's the design file, go implement it. This might take you a week to do it, but I'll wait until you're done to review it. Whereas you can get this up, you know, after a few prompts in a day or two, and you're like, hey, I'm going to tweak this. Now you can say, Hector, I have this POC. I just need you to add the interactions to it and do what you want with it, right? Then he can take it over and be like, oh, this is like pretty far along already. I can clean it up and all that stuff. But eventually it'll get so good that you can just prompt it with the PRD. You have the design files already, and it creates the POC for you.
Yeah.
And it gets that far. So this is really cool.
I think even without the PRD, like I'm pretty impressed with just like how it was able to put everything together, not really knowing the full context. And I think it's like, right, at least, I mean, maybe in the future it could be like a good first step for like actually building something, but for now it's even really impressive for just prototyping.
Yeah. Can you show us a side-by-side again of your design and then what it implemented?
Yeah, it might be kind of squished, but okay, so I mean, the responsiveness is not great, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But that's kind of, hold on. Okay, I can't make that any smaller.
It's okay. You can just zoom in on the design.
Yeah, but that's kind of
it's
what
not
it was.
Perfect, but it is near.
Yeah.
And you could tweak it, you know, like somebody can come in and tweak it so it matches the design, but that's pretty cool. Awesome.
Like if I spent more time on it, I could definitely get it to work better. And at the same time, if it had access to the actual design library and I had it like read all of that already, then it probably would be able to get these little components to match up with this.
Oh, I see. Exactly. Okay. Makes sense. Cool. Any questions, comments for Paris? Ask her something. Okay, thank you.
I was just gonna say it's awesome that you can, like, yeah, just like do a design and just have it like output a working, I guess, prototype. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yay.
Yeah, I also want to say that like I don't know, like what you're working with is like super impressive, and I'm just like I'm so jealous now. And in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm kind of slacking. So
Well, I hope
yeah,
it
pick up the
pushes you
pace.
guys. And remember, the designers you can work together. Okay, like help each other out, figure this stuff out because like you're gonna push each other to get to further heights. And it's not. I mean, it's like I would almost say like it's not sharing secrets. Like it's just sharing learnings and knowledge and stuff. And it's only gonna help you each other get further because at the end, like it all comes down to presentation, implementation, and all that. So, I would say yeah, just ask Paris and she can walk you through it.
I mean, I'll
yeah.
definitely say I wouldn't be too concerned yet as an engineer because like this is definitely held together by like not even duct tape, like scotch tape. Like it's not super functional yet.
So I would say this: I've seen this exact thing when engineers take it and they take it to that next level. And I would say that you should be scared because if you as a designer can get this far and then you pair up with like Hector and then you work together and then you're like, oh, now I know how to do this. And I can create an agent that's a Figma MCP specialist and stuff like that. And then you can connect it to your design component library like the way you want it to, right? Then it's gonna be even stronger and better. So when you get to that point, then you're gonna be like, oh, actually, this is gonna be very, very dangerous. So
Okay,
yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Awesome. Thank you, Paris.
Thank you.
All right. Bradley, you are up. And then Monica, I'm gonna mute you. You're echoing. Okay, perfect.
Okay, why is this not letting me? Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm sharing my whole screen. I don't know if you.
Okay. Just wait, okay? I have to hide everybody.
Okay. No worries.
Actually, I don't have to hide everybody because you're third to last, so we're good. Good to go.
So you guys can see my screen, right? Everything's good.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I think the last time I demoed my stuff was like the first demo, and I think yeah, a lot has changed since then. So initially, we kind of had like our app kind of operate like, so we basically input something in the chat here first, and then we kind of like filter everything through, and then you get sent here, and then you get like a list of all your possible like activities you can do. But after working with Monica, we kind of like narrowed down what we actually want to do, and we use lovable AI to kind of generate what we think our app should look like. So by inputting a prompt through Lovable, we try to we want to get like an inspiration of, you know, what can we do, what kind of things can we take away from this, and so by just like inputting what we wanted, we could see what we could take away from it. Hopefully this loads. Otherwise, I don't know. But otherwise, I do have screenshots in the Figma file.
So with this lovable, are you saying the AI created this application, this
Yes.
website?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I think Monica will go more in depth about
Okay.
this because she has the, you know,
Got it.
the prompt. So yeah, I don't think this is gonna take a while. So, but either way, the lovable generated results like these, where it would have the day and then a list of things that you can do throughout the day. Also showing a budget overview, showing how much the user might spend throughout this trip, along with some travel tips. So by seeing this, we kind of gained a lot of inspiration from it and kind of went through different iterations. So I think we primarily just took out the map entirely because I think we wanted to focus on our happy path for now and wanted to keep things simple. So one of the things we liked from the lovable was the whole budget overview, kind of showing how much you spend, how much you don't. And then we decided that maybe the meter wasn't a good representation of what you're spending on. So I think we changed it to just having a list of things instead. And so I'm trying to think about like what's percent because I know this is like under 10 minutes.
Yeah, focus on like what you're trying to achieve. Like if it's like just the build out of lovable and how it's constructed.
Okay. Yeah. So primarily the designs we're working with right now are like heavily inspired by the lovable app that it generated. So this will be our landing page. So essentially, it would list all the features that kind of like sell you in, and then Alora will be like, "Hey, Laura, can you help me plan a trip?" So you input your destinations, your dates, then you can filter through flights, lodging, dining, and activities. And if necessary, you can add your, transportation, including like rental cars and buses potentially. And you could also add special preferences. And then once you're done with that, you're ready to start planning. And then you kind of enter this this chat where you're basically chatting with the Alora AI. You're like, hey, Alora basically asks you like, hey, what do you want? Based on your preferences, and then it'll kind of prompt you with different options of what you want out of your trip in terms of like budget and priorities. So if you want your flight to be like budget focused or like you want that bougie flight, and then select what you need, and then you'll keep kind of going through the chat, just choosing your flights, your lodging, whichever one fits your preferences. Yeah, along with some other preferences.
So you're saying that the lovable app, did you give it a prompt and that's how it created that site? And you're only using that site as inspiration, correct? You're not going to use those styles and that site itself to build your application, correct?
Yeah. But yeah, it is. Yeah.
Got it. And what prompt did you give lovable? Like, did you give it? Did you give it like a big summary or a paragraph, and then it generated that application?
Yeah, I think Monica.
Oh, Monica. Okay, I'll wait for
Monica. Yeah. I did not input the prompt, but I did remember it being like a long paragraph or something. It was very detailed. So
Perfect. Yeah, we'll wait for
yeah, I'm gonna
Monica's turn.
yeah, she'll go into that a lot more. But yeah. So once you choose your flights, lodging preferences, all that, you'll basically enter this like new area where you're gonna like pick your activities, and then I have a prototype for this. Yeah, so once you have all your preferences for about flights and lodging sorted out, you'll enter this new area where you can just choose the rest of your activities throughout the day. And as you can see, it has a lot of like stuff from Lovable. As I mentioned before, you could like filter through. It's not going to show it because it's not that interactive. You have cards explaining, things you could do around the area. We'll have estimated costs, and we have distance from lodge. So once you choose like a hotel or something, ideally the AI would kind of choose areas closest to it, like places around that you can go to.
Awesome. And this is the page that the landing page, right? After you have talked to the AI, it's got all your information, and then this would be the landing page for the user to kind of configure further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you click like help me plan a trip, you're basically just like scrolling through the entire chat until you reach this bottom section.
Okay. Nice. With these designs, I know I've been asking you guys like to get them completed so this development can start. Has development started in parallel?
We did kind of figure out all the colors and finalize all the components on the weekend. I did kind of like spend the whole weekend doing through all this and kind of organizing everything with Monica. So
okay, we don't have to show
we
it today.
did want to set everything up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think that's really good, and that's one of the best things to do is get inspiration to build sites. That's what I do when I am tasked to build new websites or portfolio with stuff. I will go and get some inspiration from a bunch of resources, like take what I like, right, and then implement that, and then mesh those features and stuff together to create my application, because it's really difficult to come up with fresh stuff without anything that you've seen. Or sometimes you might be like, you know what, I'm going to take this to the next level and do something different, but you need that inspiration to kind of build the bones behind the application. So it's great to see that you guys are using Lovable as a resource. Oh, no,
Yes, definitely
people up. Cool. Any questions or comments for Bradley?
I would just like to say that I like the concept they came up with. Like, it's like a combination of a chatbot and also a form, which as you're I don't know where that design was, Bradley, where the AI can ask you questions, but then in addition to that, it'll be a pop-up form. So it's like I don't know how to describe, like a dynamic form. It just looks like a cool idea. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, so that's you're asking the questions and it gets deeper. It gives you options, right? It's not just text at that point. It's like inputs and selections and all that stuff.
Yeah, like it'll make it more clear for the AI instead of just letting it parse like a random long user string. It'll like give it detailed options.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see this get put together. Awesome. Yeah, I like the direction it's going. Designs there. Now I want to see, it all kind of come to life. But having these bare bones are going to be good as a reference point for development. But next step too, what you can do is like what Paris did, is take that design there, put it into Figma MCP and see what it can do. because even if development is not going to use it, it's a way for you to learn what the capabilities are for Figma MCP. But then even then, like if once you put it out, what if you say, hey, this is pretty good, like development, you just take it over. That saves them time because they don't have to build it up, because they could be building the AI behind it, they could be building infrastructure, and while you're pretty much bridging that gap, being the UX engineer, taking the design into development, and then they can take it on from there. Cool. Thank you, Bradley. Awesome job. Oh, wait, I hid you? Oh, wait, did I? Oh, did you come back, Bradley? Or did I hide you this whole time?
Was I hidden this whole
For
time?
for like 2 minutes.
Oh, what?
Sorry, I was just pressing a bunch
Bro,
of buttons.
I was speaking. I was like, can no one hear me?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll definitely dive into the Figma MCP more. Like seeing Paris work with it, I'm just like it got me inspired. So
Yeah, work together. Like work together and figure that out. I don't know if any other of the developers are working on it too, but it will be nice for you guys to pair up with someone that's a developer and say, hey, how can we connect this to our design component library so that the agent can then just use that as a reference point? And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty straightforward, but we just have to like take it a step at a time, and then you'll get there. Awesome. All right, Hector, you are up.
Okay. What I'm presenting is mostly like a workflow that I use with AI. So I'm not going to really be using our app, but I'm going to show an example of how I use this AI workflow in like a personal project of mine. So it's a bit of a self promotion, but yeah, something I learned is about how to use uh, context over memory, because I see a lot of people wanting your AI to remember every single thing you do. And I feel like that's a bit of a waste. I feel like a better example is to just uh, somewhat one shot every single feature you want to implement. So let me share my screen. Okay, yeah, so this is a prompt that I created. Just really quick, I will paste it here into Claude Code. I'll let it run, and now I'll explain what that prompt does. So what that prompt does, let me close. Okay, so what that prompt does is that there's 3 different things I do. There's a Claude skill called Ask User Questions, which when you give it a prompt, it'll actually tell you questions regarding the implementation of what you're doing, things like that. And there's also a Claude plugin called the Front End Design plugin, where you just plug it. It's like directly from Claude. And then there's also a plan mode that Claude has, where once you open up the CLI, you press Shift Tab twice. Oh, wait, I think I forgot to do that. Okay, yeah. So when you open up Claude, you press Shift Tab twice and you turn on plan mode. Yeah, and there you go. Okay, so you turn on plan mode. So the steps that I followed is that I create documentation for your app. So you should do a brain dump of everything you know about your app. So it could be you're just starting it, or you can be in the middle of making it, and separate it into different files. So talk about your implementation, your design, the decisions you made, the file structure. Let AI help you create each of these documentations and store it into separate files. But the caveat is that you have to actually know about your app. You can't just say, oh, I want to build a clone of Facebook or YouTube or something. You have to actually know and think like a software engineer so you can understand the trade-offs between the different technologies you're using. And you can store all these in like a documentations folder in your app. Then when you have a new feature you want to do, you do the same thing. You can either save that plan into a features file or then implement it directly, these two steps. And the app that I'm making is a video game organization app. It's basically like a Kanban board where users could add video games to a board and rearrange it and create lists and like drag and drop games to organize it however they want, things like that. Let's see, is it still running? Yeah, it's still running. Okay, so what the Ask User Question tool does, let me go back to the prompt I made. Okay, so in this Kanban board that I'm making, see, I told it to ask the user, use the Ask User Questions tool regarding, and it asked me questions regarding things like UX, UI, implementation, things like that. The documentations that I already have, I put it in context. I gave it some files that I think will need to be edited. There might be more, but Claude can figure that out. And then here is the feature that I want to do. I explain everything about the feature, things that it should know about and think about, things it should take into regard, things like that. Here's the actual app just to show it off.
So you did a lot of prep work,
Yeah.
right? Because the documents and stuff, you kind of fed it some context. Like that's pretty much just LLM.
Yeah.
And then that's how you were able to give it that one prompt because you had done the pre-work to get to that point.
Yeah. So this is the app that I have. So you can see there's a bunch of lists. Users can drag and drop lists wherever they want, reorder lists. I took a feedback from, or like inspiration from like the GitHub projects, the GitHub projects board where it looks kind of like this. Some of the features that I already built using this method is that I created these add games buttons at the bottom and also this settings menu. So you can update how you can see in the background. You can update the card spacing, the size of the text, and also how it's displayed. So it can be like just the title or just the art of the game. And yeah, those two features were done with AI and this method I created. So, okay, here's the prompt. So you can see, oh wait, let me explain the feature I wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to do is let users be able to lock a list, but so to prevent it from being able to be moved around. Like this will be like probably annoying if a user's on mobile and accidentally drag things around. So here's Claude asking me a question with the ask user tools. So let's see. When user is dragging a card and hovers over a list, should the lock list show visual feedback similar to a full list? Okay, I'll just keep it as this for now.
And Claude came up with those answers.
Claude came up with the questions and the responses. So I can pick one of these.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
or I could type something else. I'll keep the mode on. Yeah, see, so this is the, I gave these to Claude, and now Claude will think up of a plan. So these can be stored in a separate document. You can see here, this is the plan that Claude created for that board settings feature that I mentioned. So you can control the card spacing, text size. This is all what Claude did, and I just answered some questions. Yeah, see cards display are in a grid depending on the settings chosen. Yeah, and it says uses Zustan because I specifically had that in one of my documentations. See, it's still working. This is okay. I already had this example already made. So this is a different feature that I used where I had it to restyle feedback button. Let's see, this button here in the bottom left corner, which was just like an ugly white circle. So yeah, I asked it this, and I didn't even add the context or anything. But in between here, it asked me questions, and yeah, one of the things I like doing is just manually editing every. Okay, okay. See, so this is the plan that Claude made. You can tell it to save it into a features file and then implement it later. You can do this if like the feature is really complex and you want to manually review and check the plan that it made and make changes. I'm just gonna go ahead and auto accept all the edits. Clear. Yeah, see, so it doesn't need the conversation that you previously had. Just needs this plan and it'll do it. This is what I mean. Like, I don't like having a long history. Every time I make a new feature, I pretty much start fresh with a new terminal. Hopefully, it can finish this before my time is up. Yeah, so this is the different features, the feedback button feature I made. So this was the plan it made, and I told it to implement it. But
so the complete app, how long do you think it took? Like from beginning to end of you prompting it, setting things up, how much time do you think that
like
estimation?
from when I started the app?
Yeah.
I started the app like 2 months ago, but I initially started like without using AI stuff, maybe just like
Okay.
to brainstorm and debug some things because
Uh-huh.
in order to actually prompt it properly, I feel like you need to know like the deep workings of how the app works. Like I use D&D Kit
Mhm.
in this app. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, and D&D Kit is it is like a pretty powerful but complex tool. So like let's see. I have like a reducer thing here. Okay, yeah. So like, sorry, go.
So yeah. So pretty much you started this 2 months ago, but you didn't use AI, and then once you started to use AI, you were able to get features out faster, correct?
Yeah,
And then so if you and what you were trying to do was show us a prompt on how to build the same exact app, right? Just with
yeah.
one prompt. So comparing what you did 2 months ago to what you know now, how long do you think it would take you to build the similar app?
In like the past week, I've probably maybe doubled the amount of features I've put into the app in like compared to the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even this feature that I'm making right here, you can see it working in progress. See, it's already has
Yeah.
4 of the things already implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, so what I'm trying to get at is the pro and con, right? Like the differences. Like if you build it by hand, it took you like a month and a half. But now you know what you want, and if you build it with AI and you had AI from the beginning, how long do you think it would have taken you to get to that same point?
to this point, probably in half, probably under a month.
Under a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
probably
of
less. Yeah.
the setup and all that stuff. And yeah, I think as you go deeper and deeper into it, like you said, you added a bunch of features too.
Yeah.
So I would almost say maybe a week or two is probably correct, because as you set the context up, the documentation up, and you get good at it, it should get you to that point. Not 100%, but maybe very close to it. And then now you're like, oh, I can add features. So I'm going to build 4 features at the same time. right? Opposed to just one. Okay.
Yeah, so here it's pretty much done. It already did all the steps. I'll test it out in a second. One of the things I like manually editing or reviewing the changes it makes, because there have been times where I caught it overriding something that I had that I didn't want it to change.
Yeah.
Let's see what the app looks like. So here's okay. Yeah, there's the lock list button. I told it that an icon should appear here if a list is locked, and then these cards shouldn't be able to be moved around, but games can still be added to it. So let's see if it works. So I'll lock the list. Oh, there's the lock icon, and I'm clicking. I can open a game card. This is like the details of a game, but I can't move it around. I can move it around like this. And let's see, in the playing, let's see if I add another game. Uh, oh, it's slowing down. Okay. It's usually not that slow. I think it's because I'm screen sharing. So let's see
Yeah.
if I add another
When you
game.
do anything live, it
Yeah.
doesn't work the way you expect it to.
Okay. I can add Gran Turismo
Live
2 to playing. Yep. And there it is, but I can't move it around.
Oh, can you drag something into it?
I cannot.
Okay. Okay.
So another thing I have is that games or lists can only have like a maximum of 20 games. Where's that file? So
That's okay, Hector.
let's okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Go back to UI. This is awesome. Yeah. Let me bring everybody back, and let's see if we have any comments or questions for you. This looks awesome. All right. Everybody should be here. Any questions or comments for Hector?
I would say that that app looks so good and interesting. I have feature suggestion for you if you are open to them.
Yeah, the app is already live.
Oh,
It doesn't look as good as what I have now because this is still in development. So it's just called the Game List app, and you can like already. This is like what's up now, but there's no settings
cool.
you can play around with.
Yeah.
oh, cool.
I should hopefully put those features out soon.
What I mean, as a gamer, I will give it on feedback. But for everyone, as a gamer, I like to complete my games. Like I'm kind of a completionist. So to keep track of all the achievements that I have gathered while playing game, and I can see it on this app, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to go to Steam app or the PlayStation
Yeah.
and see what achievements I have. If you can fetch those and put them in this application, so I can just click on the game and I can.
Bet you there's an MCP for that.
Yeah, I looked that up too. It might cost money. I'm not sure because you need like special permission. But yeah, for now it's just to organize it because I have all my games organized just in a long text file.
Or Hector, what you can do is the old school way. You scrape the website. You tell AI to log in there. You scrape it and you bring that data back.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm implementing like a database so users could log in eventually and save all that. I don't know if I can be able to save all that data.
Yeah, that's cool though. No, this is a great side project. Any other questions or comments for Hector?
You mentioned that you were using GitHub boards as a UI inspiration. How did you provide that to the AI to use?
I just mostly made it myself. So like so yeah, here's an example of the GitHub board that I use for inspiration. So you can see it looks pretty much the same. There's an add button at the bottom. And when you click on the modal, you can see this. And then if you go to my app, it's pretty much the same, but I didn't ask the AI to do it. I mostly made this design myself, this modal and the, I generally made it myself. And then I told the AI, hey, look at the designs and make it look similar. If I go to,
Yeah, Monica, you can like give it the full website and say here, as long as it's public or I get access to it, you can say, hey, try to mimic this. And then you can select the element, like the class name, and say, hey, look at this element on the DOM, and here's the class name. Look at that element and get its styles, and then copy the same. The more specific you are, the more it can traverse through it. As long as it's like public data or whatever, he can go through code, it can go through stuff like that. Visuals, like Paris said too, is like it doesn't do the greatest job right now looking at visuals, but code base wise, it knows if it's in code, it could find the element, it could find the CSS, the JavaScript, all that stuff, and reconstruct exactly what you want. We're close to that.
and for reference, I just looked at the usage that I had. I started at 0 from when I started, and it used about 50% of my usage for this session. So it was a good amount, but I think it would still be a lot less if I gave it every single detail of my app.
So what you're saying is if you didn't pre-build these documents and all of that, and then you started off fresh and you gave it all this context, it probably would have used all your tokens, correct?
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
But because you were able to pre-plan, and then AI then could go in and traverse through this data and all this content, it saved you from context because you didn't have to like tell it all this stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it still allows me
Awesome.
to think like a software engineer.
That's great. Awesome job, man. I bet you're going to come out with a ton more features after this. Sweet. Monica, you are up.
Sure. And I was going to say for Hector, I'm not a video gamer, but I am a board gamer. So you could also definitely make a version of this for board games, because I never remember what games I own and where they are. So if you had like each column could be like, because I have a storage unit, so it could be like this bin, like bin 1, bin 2. So like I could see that being very helpful for someone who is a board game collector to know where their games are, maybe like the last time they played it, who they played it with, and stuff like that. I could see that being a definite
even
expansion
tally
for you.
your wins and losses.
Adding that in right
Monica?
now into my project board.
Right, for board games, everybody loves to tally like your wins and losses. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm up on you, 5-3. All right, Monica, ready whenever you are.
Okay.
You're last that came in, so you're gonna show up on the screen right away.
Okay. So as Bradley shared with us, that we use Lovable to brainstorm an idea. So actually, I gave it a very simple prompt. It was just a travel itinerary creation AI web app that considers the budget of the user and allows them to edit the itinerary and view and select alternatives. And so, as Bradley showed, this is the website that it created, and it is a published website. You can go to it. I think it was like atlas dot something something. And it then gave us that screenshot of a trip to Anaheim. From there, we were able to take some inspiration, and we kept our UI as in conversation as much as possible, because that's what most people are used to when working with AI. So we felt that using their current understanding of how to interact with AI, that would be something that we could build upon. But then I don't know about you, but we know that AI does its best job when it has the information it needs. And that's not easy for a user to necessarily guess. And so we built our UI to be super quick and easy for the user. So I think it was Hector maybe, who said that he kind of appreciated that it's a little bit more like forms. so that it's super easy, but it also then can have definitions built. And so what I wanted to talk about today was actually how annotation notes can really help modify your AI experience, because I found that the same notes that you would give a developer are the same notes that you want to give AI, and then it'll be able to use those logics to make a prototype. So we had Lovable as an inspiration, but then we did use Figma Make to make a initial prototype using our wireframes. So we were able to give it our 4 grayscale wireframes, and then I think, yes, and so I wrote, this is an AI-based travel planning app with budget-conscious travelers. The first one is a landing page where users will enter in the parameters of their trip. Then 2 would confirm, and then it would just kind of walk them through. I was describing each of the wireframes. And then I said the tool will be conversational until Alora suggests activities. And if the user needs to make edits, it should be done in the conversation, or for our happy path, that they would start the process all over again. And so then it created this version. And so I can say LAX to New York. Oops, can't spell. And then I'll say, let's just say February 1st through the 14th. And then originally our, since we were thinking about budget conscious travelers, we were working on maybe they would know what their budget is and work from there. So let's say our trip budget is $1,000. And then we wanted to include that sometimes you have miles or you have points that you want to use. So maybe we don't need flights, so you'd uncheck that. And maybe I, want to get points. So maybe I'm going to tell it that I am a Marriott Rewards member. And then you would say, thank you for please plan that trip. And then before it starts, we asked Alora to confirm and say, yes, awesome. And then we had a longer form that asked kind of for everything all at once. And then we said, yes, confirm the budget, and then, or no. So like, let's just go and then it would give flight options and things like that. But we actually then presented this to our developers in a meeting, and they said, hey, I don't know about you, but when I'm planning a trip, I don't really quite know. I don't know. I know I don't save up. I don't go, you know what, I want to go somewhere and I'm going to save up, X number of dollars, and then I'm going to try to make that trip work. Versus I'm more likely to say, I want to go somewhere and I'm more curious on how much it's going to cost and whether or not I can maybe do the must have things that I want to do versus what's nice to have and then what's possibly out of reach. And so then that's when we went back and removed the budget consideration so that it would, and then we changed it so that instead of being a depletion meter where we said, oh, like if your budget is $1,000, as you select items, it's a dollar amount that got smaller and smaller. And then in actuality, it also kind of becomes a little bit more depressing if you're like, oh, I can only do these things. Whereas it was, we decided to take the approach of making it additive so that as they select items, they would see the dollar amount and then they can at least then plan. And for me, as a traveler, that would make it so that I go know that that's my goal of what I want to save up for. And then maybe that will help me maybe move the travel dates out. If I know that I can save, X dollar a month, I can then say, I want to do this trip and I know I want to do it. So instead of maybe in February, I'm going to move it out to May, because then that will give me enough time to save up. And then one of the things that we gave as a annotation note was, for instance, when we gave them the multiple choice for how much, like to figure out what their budget is, because some people care a lot of where they sleep. Some people care about how much time they spend traveling somewhere versus not. And so we gave it an option of saying, using what's available out there, as from like someone who has no money to someone who has no unlimited budget. This is how we're going to define $1 sign, $2 signs, and $3 signs. And so then we gave it an example, and then as a result, it was able to then modify our prototype. And so then our second prototype was able to use our wireframes. And this is when the prompt got a whole lot longer, and we gave it more of our wireframes. And then I initially wrote this prompt first, and then I realized that these were all the same annotation notes that I needed to give our developers. And so, and the amazing thing is that it was able to, one of the notes that I gave was that I wanted to give it a note that would follow the cursor. So for this section, letting them know, hey, don't need Alora's help with something, perhaps you have miles or points, unchecked items that you would like to handle yourself. And so then that way, we don't have to put the verbiage directions, but as someone hovers over that area, it would give them that hint or direction. And it was able to do that just based off of the prompt. And so then we went back and we added all of those notes so that while we plan to definitely use AI, and our next steps are to research how robust Figma MCP can be, and then Code Connect, because we saw that online, that's how some of the videos from Figma are using to take designs from Figma to production. And so that's our next step. But we learned that the main thing was like the more notes you can give. And so then the idea now is that in the future, perhaps thinking about how to give directions to our developers, whether that's AI or a human. And then also, kind of like Hector said, the more information you give it in the best way, the better results AI can give you. And so the idea is that just learning that while AI is significantly faster, because that was the one thing that I learned with using Figma Make, was that this prototype took it maybe 5 minutes to make, whereas prototyping it myself would have taken hours. And so just being able to show what we were thinking to our developers so quickly was a game changer for this hackathon. But I know that in general, that much time savings is invaluable to any team. And so being able to then adjust our workflow to include annotation notes as early as possible, because as we had meetings with our developers, we couldn't have as many user interviews or do more UX research because it's a hackathon, but we were able to adjust and test things out with the AI significantly faster than under the normal UX process. And so I am excited to see how we could contribute, like Paris did, using Figma MCP to help our developer team, especially since our developer team is getting smaller and smaller day by day. And so we need to learn how to step in and help so that we can make sure that we meet our competition deadline.
That's awesome. I can speak directly to what you just said about documentation being clear. I saw it firsthand when I went to Miami for my AI Accelerator Week with Zephyr Cloud. The architects looked at their documentation and they said, this is crap. This is old. This is outdated. How could a human even follow this? So by having good detailed information of do's and don'ts, as well as just little snippets of annotations to help the AI, like you said, it's also going to help the humans too. So the more you think about it, the more it is like, hey, if a new designer came onto this right now, how could they tell what's what, right? By you being more detailed with that, then it helps the AI also get traverse through this design, understand what it's going to do with it. And that's the power of understanding now, like documentation is really, really important. Feeding it good context makes a big difference. It not only like saves you tokens from being, iterating through, but from a human level too, you're able to understand and document these things much in a more orderly fashion, because like, even if an AI is not taking it, if you hire somebody new, they're gonna have to come on and read it anyways, right? So by doing that, it really helps a lot. A lot of companies I've been to have horrible onboarding. Like it just is outdated. It doesn't work. Some things are just old school and stuff like that. And then the ones that really care about the documentation, it's just like flawless. And those are the companies that are gonna do really well with AI too, because they are updating their documentation. They're gonna continuously tweak it so that it makes sense. And then from a human and AI level, it just like it's flawless. It's in sync, because both ways, like you said, AI and humans are gonna benefit from it.
Yes, and one of the things that we also did was we cleaned up our component library, and because we try to design as much as we can using the atomic design method, so the idea was that I know that someone said in the chat, when we are using AI to have it code and use whether it's MCP, if we can then give it our components from the atom level first to code, then say, now take what you coded, add them together. Here are the additional alignment or layout options. And then from there, even more so as you get bigger and bigger. But that would help keep the ability for AI to adhere to our design significantly more, because it's not guessing as much, because we're giving it almost like a recipe of ingredients, steps, and then end result. And then we can give it the end result of the larger end, like the platter, or so to speak, like the buffet of saying, now here's how all of those things come together. But the idea is that by reorganizing our components to be layered from atom, molecule to cell, that we would then be able to hopefully give AI that level of instruction so that it's not getting like, because our first Figma Make, like, it didn't look a lot like what we wanted, but we also didn't give it a ton. And so the idea is, because I think the second time around, I think I did give it I think that one's our component library. So like we were able to give it our component library, and
Nice.
it was able to stay a little bit like it actually used the icons that we had and
Nice.
like our logo, although it didn't come out perfect. And the cool thing about this was for us is that I love AI, but I also don't love that it's not necessarily eco-friendly. And so this was my attempt to see what it could do in one single pass. And so like it didn't get the background correct, but it got the basic idea pretty well based upon the information we gave it in one pass. And like that's impressive to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think just continue to tweak, continue to learn from it, because once you get to the MCP, Figma MCP, it is going to be mind blowing, like how it works, how it comes, and then when you're able to get it accurately to implement what you want, like you said, you already have your components, parsed out into atoms and molecules and cells, so it makes a lot of sense. Then once the AI is able to read that component library, and when you'd say, hey, build this page and here's what it looks like, it can take those components and construct that for the developer. And then both ways, you do less, they do less. Somebody just has to prompt it to do it. And then somebody then just has to add their interaction. Or you take that page and say, hey, Hector, I will prompt the AI to build the interaction while you go and build the AI itself or the itinerary, right? And then you can do it until you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've gone as far as I can. I need a developer to take over. And that's really helpful, because then you're learning the next phase of like the future of design. You're still going to design, but if you can design and create POCs and feature like A/B test stuff on your own, you're gonna be way more powerful, and it's just you're just gonna be given that skill to do that, because without that you probably need a developer to set all this stuff up, but now you kind of don't, unless if you can learn the process and how to get there. It's really gonna make yourself, you're gonna stretch yourself further than just design at that point.
Yeah, and the use of Figma Make to make a prototype is also I can see it being super helpful for usability testing, because under the old method, I don't know if you guys remember, but with Figma, like you could click and it would show you blue highlights of what is clickable. And I remember doing a usability test on another project where one of my testers got really frustrated because where they should click wasn't intuitive to them, which was a reflection of our design. But if we had a more robust prototype like the one from Figma Make, it would be able to adjust, because it would have made it so that it was more functional. And so it would have given us more insights to what they expected. And then instead of having to go back to them and say, hey, if this had worked where you had clicked, like what would you have expected? We would have just gotten significantly more insights on how effective the design is. And so I can't wait to go back and have some folks test our prototype once we get it refined and get it tweaked to match our design better. Because we didn't have time for user interviews, but we at least definitely should get some usability testing done before the end of the competition.
Awesome. Thank you, Monica. Any questions or comments for Monica? I would say great job. You guys come a long way, and it's awesome to see the progress you're making and where you want to take it. I just want to thank everybody else as well for demoing today. It was very design heavy, which is awesome. It's going to force the developers to come out and do some demoing of their own. So I hope that next time we can do more of that as well. But again, it's open to everybody to come demo. Again, this time I give you guys more time because we had more time. But I hope that we are completely packed next time. It's just like, okay, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Let's just get like 15 minutes or so, and that'd be amazing. But as we continue down this journey, like go deeper into AI, right? Like I prompted the developers. I said, hey, if you're not building with AI, you should right now, because I need you to learn how to utilize it. And like how Hector showed us, like I need you to not just use it, but how do you save yourself some context? How do you plan ahead so that you can get to where you need to go way faster? Because that's the whole point of all these things that are being built right now, like the agent skills. I know Claude Bot is out there too, and like there's like so many things coming out right now, and like it's just hard to keep track of because it's moving so quickly. But the more we're able to dive into it and at least understand the bare fundamentals of it, then we won't be falling behind. Because as the MCP servers come out, all these other things come out, like Claude Coworker came out, and it's like supposed to replace everybody else besides developers now. So it's like I don't even know where to start with that because I haven't touched it yet. I don't have time. But there's just endless amounts of resources and things that we can continue to dig into and learn. And I think this project is amazing because then we have a lot of different people that can come and help each other out and just to learn together too. And at the end of it, you're going to be ahead of the game from a lot of other individuals because you're given this opportunity to work together to build this application and to dig into these technologies. So I look forward to the next 3 to 4 weeks here because it's going to come together real fast and it is going to move really quickly. You're going to learn so fast in these next 2 to 3 weeks, and then when we get down to the wire, it's going to be pretty much a full-fledged application that you built from the ground up with AI. And if we were to do it again, you probably could do it in half the time because of all the learnings that you've gotten. So that's the goal I will hope to get to. But I just want to thank everybody for watching and everybody that's going to continue to follow our journey. We are going to do another set of demos, most likely next week again. I want to talk to the other ones that weren't able to join today because they are working or were sick or something. I do want to do more demos and give them the opportunity to showcase what they're learning as well. But hope that you continue to follow us and hope that you're learning from us as well, because I'm learning as you guys are learning a lot of stuff from you guys as well. So continue to come out and showcase what you're learning. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.